What's up, everybody? Doc Dark 1985. There's levels to this. I saw a video today. Shout out to my dude, Broken Games ACR, BG, and the whole panel over there. But I saw a video from BG today where he spoke about development costs of video games, and he was honest and he admitted that he's talking from a layman's terms and he doesn't fully know what it takes to develop a game or whatever. But he's trying to see if he can help out reducing the cost of game development, right? I don't know what the goal was to reduce the cost. Maybe he doesn't want us to get charged more for games or whatever. But it's a great video. I suggest you go watch it. There's a specific thing that he spoke about that triggered me to make this video. No, I don't want to say trigger. Trigger's not the right word. That inspired me. That's a better word. That inspired me to make this video because I don't disagree with any of the stuff that he was saying. But when he said this, it really got me thinking. One of the easy ways to bring down the development of a game, the cost of the development of a game, perhaps, again, he was honest and he doesn't fully know, would be to bring down the length of a game. How long is a game? Now, man, I was driving my car. I was taking my son to physical therapy when we we're listening to his video, and man, that's such an interesting thing to bring up because the length of a game, he's right, doesn't determine if a game is actually good or not, if a game is great or not, or even if the game is worth 60, $70. Now, I know if you are part of the console wars and all that other stuff, like I am as well, I have no shame behind it. I like talking about consoles and I like preferring Xbox and talking to the ponies and all that stuff. Like I like this stuff. It's entertaining to me. I don't take none of this stuff serious. Game length is a talking point for console wars. But if you were to just sit back and not take into consideration when you're just talking trash to the other side, you know that game length doesn't really matter. Now there is such thing as a game that's just too short where it's considered more of a DLC than an actual game, but then there's some games that are just too long. They're just too long. And the best game that I could give you an example of a game that is a short game but will compete against any other game out there, Titanfall 2. The campaign in Titanfall 2 is one of the best, if not the best, first person shooter campaigns I have ever played. I want you out there to challenge me and give me a better first person shooter game that campaign wise, and I'll give it a shot and I want to try it. Please tell me what the game is. Preferably if the game's on Xbox. Well, PlayStation doesn't really have first person shooters. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, first person PlayStation doesn't have first person shooters, so it doesn't matter. But what game is a first person shooter that has a better campaign than Titanfall 2? I would love to know. But that game, I think we looked it up, only takes about 6.5 hours to beat, 6.5 to 10 hours to beat, right? So it's not a long game, and it is phenomenal. Titanfall 2 is worth whatever price it came out with when they dropped. So there's a great example of a game. Then you have games again that can be a little bit too long. BG even spoke about how sometimes there's games out there where you and I know that if the game would have ended earlier, we would have been perfectly fine with it. He's absolutely right. I am currently playing through Red Dead Redemption 2. And please don't give me any spoilers. But I got to the point in the game when you go to the new world and then you come back and there's a scene where you're finally riding back to your old to the old mansion where now you're settling down and whatever, right? And as you're riding, you have a song playing, it's dark and gloomy, and you just see Arthur like riding. And I thought the game was gonna end there and leave everything in suspense, and that's it. The game was gonna end. And if the game would have ended there, I would have been blown away, would have been floored. I would have thought the game was phenomenal. Now the game continuously is still going, and the game is still good, but I'm still thinking about that ending if it would have ended there. Another game that I think took too long to play, that I did finish completely, was Horizon Forbidden West. That game, there was, I don't remember exactly what part, but there was a secondary boss fight that I had that once I beat that dude, I thought the game was gonna end and it was over. But then it doesn't. It drags on a little bit longer. And when I say it drags on, it drags long. It felt like a drag. And then you finally beat the final boss, and it's this lady in this like weird robotic contraption. And but it just took too long. Even that battle didn't feel as good as the other battle. So there are some times where games can be too long. So I applaud BG for making that video because, yeah, a console war aside, the length of a game does not really determine whether or not a game is good or not. The difference is how long are you willing to play a game? Like if somebody said, "Are you willing to play Titanfall 2 again?" Yes, I am. No questions about, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would play that game again in a heartbeat. If I didn't have other things that I got to play, I'd play it easily. I would play it again. Then you have games like Starfield that don't have to be 100 plus hours, but people put in 100 plus hours. And to me, myself included, I put in 100 plus hours in a single player video game. Not because the game is that long, but it's because that game has enough content that if you want to make it that long, you can play that long, right? There's a difference between a game mandating for you to play that long, being that long, and then there's a difference for a game having enough content in it where you could go back and play it, and then the game becomes that long. There's a difference there. But the length of the game, I agree. Could you imagine if the time and the development of a game was shorter, and because it was shorter, they were able to pack a lot more quality in it? Man, that would be amazing. My son was talking about, well, that might be too short. What if a game's only 5 hours long? Man, if a game is only 5 hours long, could you imagine being able to play a game and beating it in a weekend? And then you could go back and try different things if you wanted to. I think that would be great if the game was good enough, right? If the game was good enough. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Are games too long, and should developers cut down on games so game time so that we get better games? I don't know. Let me know. Dark 1985, there's levels to this. We out. Peace.